California once again has entered the new fiscal year without a state budget. Lawmakers and Governor Schwarzenegger are deadlocked over the governor's call for deep school and social service cuts. The governor also wants to roll back legislative pension protections for firefighters, police officers, and other public workers. A veteran Corona firefighter beat the odds and got back on the front lines only weeks after undergoing open-heart surgery. Corona Firefighters President Jim Steiner was on the operating table April 22nd as surgeons closed a dime-size hole in his heart. His doctors said recovery would take at least 3 months, but Steiner was back on the job in half the time.
Within a couple shifts, we had a brush fire up in Santa Ana Canyon, and I was humping hose all the way to the top of the mountain. That was my first real test, and I stayed up with the young guys. I was able to do pretty good, and no one could tell.
Steiner says he drew strength from his brother and sister firefighters, dozens of whom donated blood and platelets just before he went under the knife.
We're just now starting to enter into peak fire season, and over the next couple months, we'll really hit our extreme period. It's going to be a later season than what we've seen. At least in the north, we've definitely got a lot more moisture. Further south you go, the drier it's getting. And even in the high desert, we've had a lot of rain, but we have an abundance of grass this year.
We were in a strong El Nino, which gives us typically above normal rainfall, but we're quickly headed the opposite direction.
One thing that we're seeing is we have 100% of our grass component that's dry. And that's really the large promoter of wildfire spread, is those light, flashy fuels that transition into those larger fuels.
We still have a lot of dry years from the past that we're dealing with, so we've kind of superficially wetted the surface with this last rain year, but overall we still have a drought going on across Southern California.
The high desert, we had ample rainfall this year with a lot of light flashy fuels. Those fires are readily burning currently. When the wind blows across the desert, we're seeing some very impressive flame lengths.
There's a lot of areas in the state that are vulnerable, and the areas that are vulnerable for any organization is those areas that have fuels that have an age class of 15 years or greater. When we have areas that have older growth vegetation, it can be very difficult to control wildfires, especially in the fall months when we have our largest fires in the county, basically in the summer months and fall months, based upon our Santa Ana wind conditions.
When the house is within 100 feet proximity and those fuels are burning, there's plenty of heat to get hundreds and hundreds of homes on fire up in those foothills.
Once you get those structures as part of that fuel bed or that fire environment, it becomes very challenging because homes a lot of times are not very spread apart. A lot of times they're very tight, and that's when you can have a significant amount of structure loss.
Fire season is really all year round, and if we're lucky, we'll have some weather come in that'll kind of slow some things down, but we really have a 12-month fire season all year round within California.
Every year has its problems, and we can't let our guard down just because we've had one somewhat decent rainy year. We're in a prolonged drought, and we know that we've had numerous fires for several years now, and there's nothing that's going to magically appear to take that away.
Our system's being tested. Fire agencies are either laying off people, not backfilling behind folks that are retiring, browning out, or just flat out, closing stations. It's becoming extremely hard.
We're starting to see fires getting very intense at this time of year. I think by October, if the Santa Anas continue to blow, we have the potential for catastrophic wildfires.
We'll see what type of season it is. Right now, we've been lucky, but it isn't over till it's over, and every season's a bad year in California.